about time we got a good adaptation of Artemis Fowl.
Well, that was a movie.
Hello, welcome back to Simon's Rants. I'm Simon, this is Justin, and today we're giving our first thoughts on Red 1, which was directed by Jake Kasdan.
Yes.
It was written by Chris Morgan and Hiram Garcia, and it's starring Dwayne Johnson, Chris Evans, Lucy Liu, J.K. Simmons, and a bunch of other people too. And in case you haven't seen the trailers or anything, J.K. Simmons is Santa Claus. Dwayne Johnson... what?
Jacked Santa.
Jacked Santa Claus,
yes.
Not Jack Santa, which is what I thought you said. I was like, who's Jack Santa? J.K. Simmons is Santa Claus. Dwayne Johnson is like the #1 elf, and Chris Evans doesn't believe in any of it, and then they have to save Christmas together. I wasn't gonna see this. You suggested it last week because you said, it'll be fun to watch a terrible movie. And I said, yeah, you're right. Let's go watch this movie that everybody had already made fun of before it even came out. They're like, why is this in theaters? And it looks like a straight-to-Netflix movie.
Yeah.
It costs $250 million or whatever.
That's still not gonna work out.
And you know, everybody's talking shit on it. Like, you know, there was the Dwayne Johnson comment where he was like, yeah, I saw Oppenheimer, and I was like, I can't wait to see Red 1 on a screen like this. And I was like, really, dude? So yeah, really excited to come sit down and make fun of a terrible movie, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't. It really, honest to God, was a good kids/family film.
He loved it.
I was just imagining. Granted, it's a little too long for this. It dragged on longer than it should have. It got boring by the end. But for the first 2/3 of it plus, I was imagining, you know, one of the earliest movies I ever saw in theaters was the Santa Claus 2, the Tim Allen Santa Claus 2, and that movie was amazing as a kid. It's not a great movie now, but as a kid, it was amazing, and it was so imaginative and so fun, and I was imagining that version of myself, that age version of myself, watching this movie going, the same exact thing would have happened if this came out back then. I would have been obsessed with this movie if I was a kid.
Yeah, as a kid, this wild, over-the-top action Santa Claus world, yeah, this would have been a main staple of my Christmas movie marathons as a kid.
Absolutely. And yeah, sure, it's cheesy, it's silly, it's stupid. It's supposed to be. Guys, y'all, it's a Christmas Marvel movie. That's what it is. And if you say Marvel movies are great, but don't say this is great, you're just biased. Listen.
We all know all of The Rock's films are basically Marvel films. He has superpowers in every film, no matter what. If you've seen enough Rock films, you know what to expect. And this delivers. It does.
It actually is almost insulting this to compare it to Marvel, because you know, one of my biggest complaints about Marvel is always the humor. It's the Marvel humor, quote unquote.
Yeah.
This had 1 or 2 Marvel jokes, and I rolled my eyes really hard when they did it. But most of the humor in this was actually really funny.
Yeah, I think I did check out the writers. I think I saw them mostly working on some of the later Fast and Furious movies and Jumanji.
Interesting. That makes sense. I guess, you know, you work together with the people you've had success with. Just keep working with them. But yeah, there was some really funny parts. Like, and a lot of it was subtle writing that I was like shocked that it was like clever enough, or like it would be like the lines that you hear in the background or something, like quick.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans are talking about breaking into this castle, and he's giving him the plan. And he's like, all right, so we're going to go back through the courtyard. We're going to go right past the guillotines and then through the door. And Chris Evans just goes, the guillotines? It's just like, it's quick, it's fast. They ignore it and keep going. It's like, I love that humor. It's actually like well written, and that's crazy. I was not expecting this movie to be good, and it legitimately was. Not great. I'm not saying movie of the year, top 10. It's not top 10. Not even close. But it was
lying to you.
Good. And this is a very serviceable family film that I know already it's getting torn apart by critics. I did check on IMDb. It has a 7. I don't know if it's going to stay there or what. Nobody was in the theater tonight. Granted, it's a little bit early for a Christmas movie, so maybe it'll pick up later. This, to me, I know I said it was $250 million or whatever. To me, this movie should earn back that budget. It should. Will it? I don't know, because it's gotten so much bad press. But this is one of those family movies that's like, if the families show up and actually see it, they're going to be happy they did.
I don't get why you do put this movie out
this early.
Now, yeah.
It's so early.
Like, this is that movie that right before Christmas break, we have half days or we have lazy days. Let's take the kids to a movie. Oh, Red One's out? It's a Christmas children's theme movie? Yeah. This is that. Now, will it be in theaters then? I don't know.
I mean, it should at least make it till Thanksgiving, which is when they should have put it out, I think. Actually.
Yeah.
You can put it out a little early. Thanksgiving crowds, people go to movies on Black Friday. Maybe put it out that weekend or something.
It'd make more sense. I mean, that tends to be the start of the Christmas season. Or it probably should be, but I mean.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I will also say, for a kid's movie, this must have been rated PG-13. I'm not sure what it was.
Yep.
I was shocked because I didn't realize it was PG-13 about the amount of language in the movie, because there was a lot of assholes, there was a few shits, there's a lot of hells, there's one hinted at F-bomb that they don't actually say, they cut away from, but like, I was shocked by that. Also, it's not a scary moment, but Nick Kroll gets like demon possessed, which I thought was hilarious. I love that scene, but you're like, this is a kid's movie. And it definitely is a kid's movie. I'm not saying at any point is it not a kid's movie, but it's pushing boundaries that kids' movies haven't pushed since like the 90s. And that made me so happy. I'm like, look at them. They're saying, trust us, kids, or trust us, parents, with your kids. We're going to show them some stuff that you might not expect in a kid's movie. I'm like, hell yeah, do it, you know?
Demon possession is for the children,
okay? Hell yeah. I shouldn't say demon possession. There's a witch. So if you're skeeved out or you don't want demonic stuff in your kids' movies, don't worry. It's not literal demons. It's a witch, okay? It's different.
I'm sure that makes you feel better.
It does to some people. It does.
Yeah, I will admit, my mom did let me watch Harry Potter.
Yeah, I don't know. I had so many pre-planned jokes and bits to do talking about this movie being awful, and I can't use any of them because it's actually just a good movie.
The Rock does it again.
I'm just flabbergasted because of all the movies I expected to be terrible this year. This was like at the top of the list. You look at the trailer, it makes it look like a Netflix original. And then
the poster made it look like a
that
Netflix.
Too.
I literally don't think I saw the trailer, but I've seen the poster everywhere, and it just screams, we are putting this on Netflix.
Yeah, and then like the special effects in the trailer also looked like Netflix, and in the movie they weren't great, but they were slightly better, and they flowed better. The action was more exciting than it looked in the trailer, and it just all around was a much better movie than I was expecting it to be in every single way, especially the comedy though. Yeah. The comedy and then the imagery, like the world building in the North Pole. And I think this is a great way, like it's the Star Wars rule of world building, which is you just show a bunch of stuff, you don't have to explain it. The less you explain, the more imaginative you can be while watching it. And there's like a chase scene going on in the North Pole, and The Rock is just jumping from these like giant slides or something, and they never explain what the slides are for or why they're there. You're just like, cool, awesome.
If you've ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender,
why do you
the cartoon
always bring up Avatar?
Because it reminds me of things. It's everywhere. It's inspirational. It's like he's in Ba Sing Se sliding down their like mail or whatever system because they had like the same sort of tubing things. But
you know what it reminded me of? The race in Spy Kids 3D. There was some tubing like that and that.
Yes.
This actually had a lot of Spy Kids vibes to it. Not as intentionally bad as Spy Kids is, because Spy Kids really leans into the bad on purpose. This kind of does that a couple of times, but not really.
That's why Spy Kids is still beautiful.
Spy Kid, oh, I love that whole trilogy. Yes, there's only 3 of them. Is amazing.
Yeah, I
haven't seen past 3. Like I said, once again, this is something that it's just imaginative, though. Like, if I was a little kid, I would have been obsessed with this universe.
This is a really wild world of Christmas. There's a lot going on in this one.
It's beyond Christmas too. Like they hint at so many other facets. Like there's like the headless horseman is mentioned.
Yeah, it is like all mythical
stuff. Which once again, it was like Artemis Fowl, or what was that other, like the Guardians or whatever, that animated Christmas movie where like Jack Frost has to save
I can't remember
Christmas
the name, but I remember. I know what you're talking about.
I never saw that, but they do the same sort of thing. I mean, I guess the Santa Claus 3 does it as well by bringing in Jack Frost and the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, everybody, Sandman. So, I mean, it's been done before. It's not like breaking new ground, but they did it very well. One of the biggest Artemis Fowl ripoffs in this, though, was the whole ELF thing, because they never say, I don't think they ever call any of them elves, because there's trolls, there's ogres, there's goblins, but then ELF is the, what was it?
Enforcement, Logistics, and Fortification.
Yeah, okay, that, which reminded me of, so in Artemis Fowl, the fairies, which that book series is based in Ireland, so the fairies, I think, may have been the species, but their occupation, the main character, Elf anyway, she was a police officer, and the police officers are called Lep Recon. And so I was like, the LEF really reminded me of that. And it was kind of like, I don't know if it was ripping it off on purpose or whatever, but I was like, it kind of paid homage to it or something. And I was like, I like that. It's just fun little, like I said, something as a kid you find very exciting to like, oh, what's this world? Like, you know, when they're flying back for the first time to the North Pole, you see that they're once again hidden in this like magical dome that they have to open up and fly through, which has been done in several Santa Claus movies at this point, but just the imagery was so much fun to look at.
It's that 250 going to work.
Yeah, I really did not. This movie, I never would have seen it. I never would have. And now I'm like, I kind of want to tell my brother about it. Say, hey, go see it.
I honestly would have forgotten that it was coming out today if my friends hadn't joked about us seeing it.
Good for your friends. They were onto something.
That's funny, because they're the Rock fans, and they have no interest in this film at all.
Well, it's not necessarily for fans of The Rock anyway. It's for people that want a Christmas movie that's for the family, that has a couple of, you know, funny action scenes, but a little bit of sentimentality too. There was actually the scene at the end, I was like, oh, you know, I'm not tearing up or anything, but I was like, that hit you in the feels a little bit.
Yeah, but I feel like that's what like rock films used to be like. Now they didn't have superpowers as much as this, but you know, they had the heart back in the day.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess the only legitimate gripe was it was too long, like half an hour too long.
Yeah, it didn't need to be 2 hours.
I tapped out a little bit. I'll give it a 6, a solid 6.
That sounds fair.
I do recommend it. Who would have thunk it? Yeah, so we're not getting into spoilers though, and I don't think it's important enough to do that. So go watch it if you're interested. I do recommend it. We're gonna go eat my first meal of the day.
I will say, we never got to see Santa go heavy.
Yeah, he put on the weights and then he walked away.
I think it was sitting overhead pressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, with 3 plates.
Well, 6 plates, because 3 on each side.
Yeah.
So 6 plus the bar, which, I mean, 20 pounds or whatever that 45. Is, 15. So 45 times 6, so 270 plus the bar, so like 300 overhead, and that was his warm-up.
Let's go ahead.
That was the funniest part. He's doing the push-ups. He's like 490. 7, 498, 499, 500 in 5 minutes. That's a good warm up.
Yeah, warm it up.
That was the moment. Like before that, there was a couple of things like the streamer coming up, and he's like, "I got 3,000 subscribers." There was a couple of lines I was like, wait, no, is this gonna be good? But then once he did the workout, I was like, it is good. This movie's good.
Yeah,
wait.
Your disbelief at the beginning is pretty funny.
Well, like, you should have been too. I was in shock. I was like, why is this good?
Listen, I fully had faith in The Rock.
No, you didn't. Shut the fuck up.
Listen, I had faith in enjoying it. All right?
I did too.
Whether it was good or whether it was so bad I enjoyed it, I had full faith.
I was much more on that side. But yeah, okay, let's go eat food. I am starving. Yeah, thanks for watching though. Please leave a comment if you saw it. Let us know what you thought. Also, don't forget to like, share if you're new here, subscribe. Thanks guys. Bye.